because YouTube sometimes tells me to do lives. It's like, do a live, Dan, do a live. So that's what I'm doing. No one's here right now, as is usually the way. I will just wait a moment for somebody. Hopefully somebody comes on. But while we're waiting, I will just sort of run through, for anyone who might see this afterwards, why I'm doing a live, apart from the fact that YouTube tells me to do lives. It's probably the biggest reason, to be honest. YouTube's like, Dan, you don't do enough lives. Do a live. And I'm like, okay, I suppose so. So what I do... Oh, someone is here. It's Michael. Hi, Michael. Hi, how you doing? Newbie. Hi, newbie. Welcome. This is the most random live. I don't really have a purpose for this. It's just that we've kind of reached that point in the year now. We're not quite halfway to Halloween, but we're approaching halfway to Halloween. And I always start to get a bit like, we've seen quite a lot of Halloween related stuff revealed. I've talked about quite a lot of Halloween related stuff. And it's just that thing of, is everyone liking what we've so far seen? Are we enjoying what we've so far seen? And I think I want to ask that question because I've heard a lot of talk within the Halloween community of people who are kind of like, oh, the Halloween community is dying. Oh, it's on its way out. Oh, I don't like this anymore. What's happening to the community? And I see this sort of stuff and I'm like, what are you talking about? Have I missed something? Is something deeper going on here that I'm unaware of? But aside from that, like, I think there's a lot of people who are maybe a little bit jaded by the props and the announcements and all the stuff we see that comes out really, really early. And I just wanted to see what people were thinking. It's random night here in the beginning of March. And like, are people enjoying what we're so far seeing? Are people thinking it's a little bit early for this stuff? Or is it getting too early? Is too much Halloween stuff being revealed too early on in the season? And is it kind of ruining the vibe a little bit? You know, I don't know. What are people's opinions of this? Personally, as a YouTuber, I very much enjoy seeing stuff revealed. It doesn't really matter whether it's early or late. But I do agree to a degree that there is maybe sometimes it's a little bit too early, and that by the time we get to Halloween, even I am a little bit like, ugh, I've seen everything. Why? Part of the rush of the Halloween community is that, part of the fun at least, is that some of this stuff isn't, you used to not see some of this stuff until it was actually Halloween. Brian's put, I love seeing it all year round. So do I, Brian. I love seeing it all year round. Roosevelt Hill Symmetry, for what it's worth, a lot of the box stores out there are getting a tad stale. Some are okay. I guess I'm jaded and spoiled after East Coast Haunter Convention. I don't mind spending the extra. Okay, East Coast, very, very cool. Wish I could go to something like that. Oh, Caden Vids, I've subscribed. Thank you, Caden Vids. I will go and subscribe to you as soon as this is over. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Thank you. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of people who are a little bit jaded by the sheer amount of stuff we see released so early on in the season. And then there are people like me who love it and want more. Michael's put, I'll be honest, it's never too early for Halloween, but I haven't been very impressed by the announced animatronics this year. Moez, hi, Newbie put, I'm here for it all year round. I want to do a Wednesday theme this year, and I need to know if someone is going to come out with a better Wednesday than Lowe's. Surely someone can do better than that. Yeah, that Wednesday prop last year, could have done better. Wednesday theme would have been really cool though. Moez, is it Moez or Moez? Moez. I am in hospital. Oh, well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay, and I hope you're enjoying watching my randomness on a random Tuesday in March. I hope I'm not making you feel worse than you already do because you're in hospital. I don't mind seeing it earlier. Let's have these box stores keep their stuff in the stores all year long, as far as I'm concerned. I agree, mate. I very much agree that that is something I'd like to see too. I'd wish we saw more stuff available for longer periods of time. Mose, I broke my neck. Oh my God. Bud, seriously, that's terrible. I hope you're okay. I hope you're feeling okay. You're clearly okay to write these messages. So fingers crossed you'll pull through. Hopefully so. Where was I? I've lost track of what I was saying. Yeah, so already we've had a few people say that they're not overly happy with some of the things they've seen released so far this year. I'm very on the fence. As a UK haunter, we've seen a lot of new things. It's always very basic for the UK, so we don't necessarily get all the really cool things you guys do in the US. But the fact that we're seeing things early, and of course we've got the things from HalloweenCostumes.com. Here in the UK, we've got HalloweenCostumes.co.uk, and just a few of those things have already made their way to the UK. So fingers crossed that we see more impressive things. Oh, sorry. You are the only one I can speak to, because you're so nice and caring. Oh, well, I try to be, Bud. I really, really do hope you're feeling okay. And I hope I'm slightly cheering you up a little bit. I do like seeing Haunted Hill Farm step up. Yes, I was very, very close to making a video about Haunted Hill Farm because they've got some pretty cool stuff. Again, because we don't get Haunted Hill Farm here in the UK, I'm a bit of an outsider. I mean, is this stuff, it looks good. I like that creepy old woman sat in a rocking chair with the baby. That's very cool, but I've not seen enough of it. I think I need to watch a little bit more footage. Ascend the Clown Haunter, how are you? I feel like Halloween 2025 animatronics will get better once Home Depot reveals their stuff from the manager meeting, since they seem to get better each year. Yes, I am always very hopeful when it comes to Home Depot. Home Depot is the holy grail of places, I think. The last few years have been incredible. I think last year was a really good year. So I'm very, very, very interested to see what they bring out this year. And yeah, it should be pretty cool. I'm hoping it'll be cool anyway. Roosevelt Hill Cemetery. When I was invited to the Party City event last year, RAP, yeah, very sad. I know I asked the techie peoples if I can lend my voice to their soundtracks. We shall see. Oh, now that would be cool. That would be so cool. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I really hope that happens. That'd be so cool. Yeah, sad RIP to Party City. That's very sad because they were kind of pushing the envelope, weren't they? They were bringing out some pretty cool stuff. Home Depot for the win. Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. I think Home Depot are always the winner when it comes to this stuff. Generally, though, again, if you saw the podcast that me and Scared Dad do the other day, we were just sort of talking about Lowe's. Has Lowe's kind of edged it a little bit this year? Or, I mean, we haven't seen what's coming to Home Depot yet, but they have actually done some pretty impressive stuff. They've got the jump scares down, and I'm all over jump scares. So I think we need Home Depot to bring some jump scares. If Home Depot brings some jump scares, I think it's definitely Home Depot for the win. Moaz, the reason why I have broken neck is because I felt dizzy when I was crossing the road and I fell, and then my car went over my neck and broke my neck and my bone sticking out. Oh my God, Bud. That's graphic, but I don't, that's unbelievable. I hope you're okay. I really do hope you're okay. Hope so. Yeah, Brian Mitchell, same here. Looking forward to seeing what they have this year. Also, for jump scare stuff, they have Jinx, you owe me a beer. Home Depot's animatronics are pretty good prices. Most of my animatronics are from Home Depot. Lowe's has some great looking props, but all my Lowe's props were destroyed in weather last year. Oh no, that sucks. Halloween Man 2002. Hi, bud. How are you doing? I saw some of your footage from Transworld. It was very, very cool. It looked like you had a really good time. So pictures. I saw a lot of pictures from you. Yeah, so yeah, that's sad about your props from Lowe's. But I always have this sort of love-hate relationship with Lowe's. Again, we don't have Lowe's here in the UK. But what I hear is that Lowe's, It's quite expensive. Lowe's are quite expensive, and they're maybe not quite as impressive as Home Depot. Home Depot seem to have the very impressive, good-looking props for pretty affordable prices. I mean, I own Lethal Lily, and she was like $250, which is an incredible price for such an awesome prop, I have to say. I'll only be buying from Lowe's if they are indoor props this year. Yeah. The weather, man. It's the weather. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Well, I think unless you live in like the desert, like Nevada or something. I think if you live anywhere with the sort of climate we get here in the UK, the weather can just be a killer blow, can't it? Newbie put, Home Depot for the win, having to buy it off eBay because you're British sucks. Yeah, it does. It costs so much more. I'm still doing it though. Yeah, it's very true. You have to buy off eBay, or if you can find someone in the US, will send it to you, but it still costs. The shipping is pretty horrendous. We do have some UK stores now that will actually buy in stuff for the UK from Home Depot, but it can still be expensive. Like as an example, the 12-foot skelly, I think he's like $300 in the US. It's like £1,000 for the 12-foot skelly, just to give you an example there. Cindy, hi Cindy, hello from Canada. Hello Cindy, hello from the UK. How are you? Brian put, I work at Lowe's and Home Depot has much better animatronics. Well, that's good of you to say. I'm glad you admit that. No, I think generally that's true. Send the clown horn. There was some Home Depot 2025 leaks on the Canadian site, but it was just named, so no images yet. Somebody told me, and I think it was you, Michael. Did you, Michael Weir? I think you told me you'd seen some leaks from Home Depot. Something about a groundbreaker on something. I think you told me that, and I was like, oh, and so it begins. I'm very excited to see what Home Depot bring out. I'm always excited. I mean, what do people want to see out of Home Depot this year, though? Because that's the thing with Home Depot, is there are only so many, like, barriers that Home Depot can break down. They have, in many ways, reimagined an awful lot of what we get now on the market, and I think they are the ones that everyone's trying to beat now. I think once upon a time it was Spirit, and now everyone just tries to beat Home Depot. But do you want to see something completely new that we've never seen before? Do you want to see more of the same, maybe just better? Like I've said, Lethal Lily as an example. Would you like to see like a Lethal Lily that's just better, maybe a bit more movement in it? Or are we wanting something completely new and different? We were talking about this in our podcast the other day. I personally would love to see some cryptids. I'd love to see some cryptids. You need your Mothman. We need our Bigfoot. I also, going into the Universal Monsters, because I love Universal Monsters, we need to see a creature from the Black Lagoon. Where are the creatures from the Black Lagoon? Why have we not had this happen? I personally would love to see some classic monsters. Michael put, I did, not sure how real it was, but what I saw was a groundbreaker on a track. That's right, you did say that, a groundbreaker on a track. I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty awesome. Essentially, I was a crawling skeleton groundbreaker that is on a track. There we go, a crawling skeleton groundbreaker that's on a track. That does sound awesome. I have to say, that does sound awesome. So yeah, with any luck, that wasn't just imagined and it was real. We'll have to see though. We need the entire cast of the Lost Boys. And Cindy's like, ooh, the Lost Boys. Yeah, the Lost Boys, classic. Can't go wrong with the Lost Boys, right? But that's the only thing with things like that when it's to do with like cult classic films and movies. They tend to always focus on one character. Someone mentioned before how they want to do a haunt to do with Wednesday. And that would be very, very cool. But of course, what tends to happen, and Lowe's does it, is that they will pick, so they picked Wednesday, of course, it's her show, but they pick that one moment from the show where she did this. She did that movement in that show for like 10, not even 10 seconds, like it was 2 seconds. You saw this. And then they based their entire prop on that whole movement. And it's like, She's not from Thriller. You know, we're not this, you know, why is she doing this? There is so many more things you could have done with a Wednesday prop rather than just this weird movement. And that's the only thing when these firms get licensed characters, I think they just pick the most obvious characters doing the most obvious things. And that can be disappointing, I think. We need a Chupacabra animatronic as well. Yeah. I think someone's made... Did Distortions make a Chupacabra once? I think they did, and it was pretty cool. Scare HQ, hi, Scare HQ, nice to see you. Brian put, I would like to see a mummy or a wolfman to go along with Frankenstein and the vampire I got last year. I actually got the vampire off eBay before it went on sale at Home Depot. You posted a video. Yes, they were very cool. Oh, yes, of course. Brian, yeah, of course you did. You had the vampire. Oh, my light went off. Sorry, my lights died. Can you still see me? Yeah, you posted about the vampire that was, the Victorian vampire before it was released. And everyone was like, whoa, what the hell is this? Of course. I knew that's where I knew your name from. I was like, where do I know that name from? Right, of course you did. Yeah, that would be very cool. A mummy, we did have a really cool mummy prop here in the UK a couple of years ago from Costco. I think, well, you will have had it too in the US. So yeah, I could definitely see us having a new werewolf or a new mummy prop. That would be very cool. I don't know. I personally would like to see a classic vampire, like a Dracula, actually a Dracula prop. I think that would look really good. Maybe that's just me personally, because I really, really want a Dracula to go in my castle. But, you know, I think a classic Dracula, you know, like you want to see Dracula with the old school cape and the slick back hair. Personally, I'd love to see that in a slightly more serious way, not a goofy vampire Dracula, like a serious one. We've got, oh, sorry, I've missed a few messages here. Oh, Pugwudgie, Google it. I did Google it, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. That weird sort of, I don't know, what the hell was that? It's a porcupine hybrid weird monster thing. Very, very weird. I'd never ever heard of one of those. That would make a creepy prop, though. That's got Distortions written all over it. Distortions should definitely do that. Yes, I got the Wednesday also. Yes. A mummy would look great, maybe breaking out of a casket. Yes. And that's another thing, going back to the vampire thing. We don't see enough caskets, do we? We don't see enough monsters breaking out of caskets. That we need to see that. A mummy breaking out of a casket would look awesome. I agree, Michael. Then we got, okay. Ring Wraith. Oh, yeah, for our Lord of the Rings vibe here. I have to admit, I'm a bit of a Lord of the Rings fan, bit of a geek when it comes to Lord of the Rings. So I would definitely love to see a Ring Wraith. It's got that whole Reaper vibe. That would look very, very cool. I would love to see the vampire from Fright Night. Ooh, yeah, that would be awesome. What sort of thing do you think they will have at Costco this year? Well, I have done a Costco sort of trying to predict video. I did a Costco prediction video. It is so hard to predict because last year was so unpredictable. I've never seen a year from Costco that is just so crazily unpredictable. I could not have predicted 10-foot alien and random looking werewolf. Again, I would just like to see some classic monsters. I'd love to see a vampire. I'd love to a Dracula, I should say. I'd love to see a Frankenstein's monster here. I know the US has had a good fair few. We've not really had any Frankenstein's monsters for a while. Yeah, something like that I think could definitely be a possibility from Costco. Something maybe even like Dean the Deathologist. Something along the lines of Dean the Deathologist I think could be a very realistic thing for Costco. I don't know. It's a really hard one to predict, Costco, this year. Especially after the really random year we had of really random stuff last year. I have no idea. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful this year that we do get something really, really cool. It really could be anything at this point, which is kind of exciting. It kind of makes it more exciting knowing that it could literally be anything. But at the same time, it is a little bit frustrating when you can't even hazard a really well thought out guess. I have so many animatronics, I can't even fit them in my house. I know, I know the feeling. My animatronics have already had to find different storage solutions all over the place. I'm eyeing up my mum and dad's garage as we speak. There's a perfect space for some brand new animatronics this year. And I'm definitely going to be buying some brand new animatronics this year. I didn't really buy anything particularly last year. I focused on building my castle, and I just bought some smaller, cheaper end animatronics. But this year, no, I can feel it. I definitely want to buy something substantial, something really quite impressive. I don't know what. I am holding out for Costco. I always do. But I definitely, yeah, I'm open to anything really. I might even have to put in a call to some friends in the US to get me to send something from your side of the pond, because yeah, I definitely want to add something new and impressive to my haunt this year. Michael put, when do you set up your haunt? I started in September last year. Brave. Brave, Michael. I don't start until October. I wait for maybe about the first week in October, and I start putting smaller items out. I start very small, low level things just to give people the idea that we're heading into Halloween. And I don't really put out my main display until about just over a week, about nearly 2 weeks before Halloween is when I really, really put my full display out. But as you found out to your loss last year with Lowe's, it is the weather that is the killer here in the UK. You have to be so careful when it comes to the weather. You have to protect everything, and that is the hardest part when it comes to doing a haunt here in the UK. And I think for many places is just trying to keep an eye on the weather and making sure that these animatronics. It surprises me, to be honest, just changing the subject for a second, that there aren't more firms making actual weatherproof props. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are they not making these props fully weatherproof? I know some of them are, but why are they all not? Like, who is it that's still putting their large-scale animatronics only in their house or under a covered porch? You know, we need to see some proper weatherproof animatronics. I really do think that needs to happen sooner rather than later. Scare HQ port, what's your favorite animatronic that you own? That I own, it's probably Lethal Lily. She's probably my favorite because I do have a soft spot for witches, and I think that she has incredible movement and action. I really do love her realistic face. Yeah, it's between her and my 10-foot Reaper. I do love my 10-foot Reaper just for sheer impact. I think because again, here in the UK, it's still really unusual not to see such large props. So it is really cool to have something that dominates the skyline, if you like, when people walk past my house or come by on the road outside and they see that Reaper standing over the hedgerow. It just blows people away. So yeah, he's one of my favorites, and probably Lethal Lily. Someone put, oh my God, definitely did Victorian and the clowning around. I still didn't put Frankenstein together yet. Brian, get on it. Frankenstein, come on. You have to get on it with your Frankenstein's monster. Gary Jerk, hi Halloween Dan, love your videos. It would also be awesome if they made some kind of a real creepy sea creature. Well, I was just talking about why have they not made a creature from the Black Lagoon? I know it's not technically a sea creature, but you know what I mean? We had that whole nautical stuff from Lowe's last year, but we didn't really see any really creepy sea creatures. We got Cthulhu from Party City last year, but I don't know what you guys thought about that, but I was a tiny little bit disappointed by Cthulhu. Kind of wanted to see something, I don't know, just better looking. But yeah, I know what you mean. We should definitely need some sort of really creepy sea creatures, like a real kraken or something. Yeah, the weather is so annoying. It definitely is. Smart move. I started too early last year, thinking mid-October this year. Yeah, I know. If I could put it out earlier, if I could put it out in September and know that the weather was going to be relatively dry and calm, I would do it. But that's just not a thing here. The weather changes like that. 1 minute it can be gorgeous sunshine, the next minute a force 10 gale can blow through. So I just cannot risk my haunt getting destroyed by putting it out that early. Right now, it's definitely the Victorian Vampire. Yes. Yes, got that on sale at Home Depot for $60. Wow. And Lethal Lily. Okay. Agreed 100%. Animatronics should be weatherproof. 100%? I don't know why they're not. Someone put, Halloween Dan, you're awesome. Thank you. Fright Fetish. I think you're awesome too. Scare HQ, nice. Well, yes, definitely putting that next. I can't believe Party City went out of business. I know. I mean, we don't even have Party City here in the UK, and I am still devastated because they were such good things to talk about. Some of it was pretty random, not going to lie. I mean, that two-headed goat last year definitely made me go, what is this? But yeah, it was still very, very cool. I bought the £500 Beetlejuice from Mad About Horror for 2024. He's not the most authentic looking, but the phrases are brilliant. We need a Wednesday like that. Yes, I think you're right, newbie. I think that would be very, very cool. And also, Beetlejuice, good choice. I love Beetlejuice. Exactly, totally up for weatherproof animatronics. Yes, yes. Why are not more and more of them completely weatherproof? Fright Fetish. Only time I don't mind the sunshine is when it's Halloween. Other than that, I hate the sun and heat. I know what you mean. I don't hate it. Hate's probably too strong, but I am that person, and I've even made videos about it, where I do enjoy a sort of cold, rainy day, especially if I've not got anywhere to go or anything to do. And the only time of year where I want it dry and calm and not windy or anything is Halloween. I want that week around Halloween, on either side of Halloween, at least a week, if not a little longer, to be pristine weather, absolutely beautiful. Like, I wish for that week I lived in, I don't know, the Sahara Desert or something. But yeah, it never really happens. Michael put, I know this is a little off topic, but as the movie guy, which you are, you're definitely the movie guy. Go and check out Michael, by the way. He does some great movie reviews. I have to ask, what's your favorite scary movie? Now, I've talked about this. This is controversial for a guy that likes Halloween. I am not a huge horror movie fan. I'm not. I know. I'm a complete pussy. It's not horror movies, actually. It's slasher movies. I'm not a huge slasher movie fan. For me, a good scary movie is something, I don't know, a little bit more subtle. Like something like, it's not really scary anymore, but when it first came out, I loved The Others. Have you ever seen The Others? The Others is that creepy one with Nicole Kidman where she thinks they're haunted and there's weird things going on in the house. That kind of thing, where it's not really violent or nothing, it's just kind of creepy. It's just that kind of vibe. They're my kind of scary movies. This isn't a scary movie per se. Sleepy Hollow, because I love the story. I suppose there is one exception to the scary movie, horror movie thing, and it's The Exorcist. I do like The Exorcist. Again, because it's that whole supernatural, possessed thing. Very scary. I was really scared of The Exorcist the first time I ever saw it, but it is very good. It is a very good movie. Yeah, and The Exorcist is probably the scariest movie I enjoy, and the only slasher movie I really enjoy is probably Halloween, like the original Halloweens from the 70s. That's probably about it. Though I do quite like Scream. I do like the Scream franchise. I do quite like Scream. Again, because I'm a kid of the 90s and it was such a big deal in the end of the 90s. So yeah, okay, so I like a few. And then I like all the classics like Frankenstein's Monster and Dracula. I still want to see Nosferatu because that's got me written all over it. So I definitely want to check out Nosferatu, even though it's kind of got a bit of, I think there's a lot of people who either love it or hate it, but I think I might be one of the ones who loves it. Then Scare HQ put, do you recommend any cool animatronics for my haunt this year? Maybe circus theme or witch theme? I can't advise on circus theme. I'm not a big fan of circus theme. Though I will say that if you want to go down the circus theme and you're in the US, I don't know whether you are, but if you are in the US, check out the footage that exists of the clown with the blow-up dog that is in Lowe's. It's probably the only time I've ever seen a clown prop and gone, yeah, that's actually pretty good. I actually quite like that. That's the only time I've ever really seen. Like most times I see clown props and I'm like, ugh, go away, clown, go away, clown. And I saw that one and I was like, yes, clown. Yes, I quite like you. I don't know why. It's a very cool thing. It kind of lunges forward. It's in an old school outfit and it's got this like blow up balloon dog that barks. It's pretty cool. I have to say, I do quite like it. And that's a hard thing for me to say because I'm not a huge clown fan. Did you ever make a video of your collection of animatronics? I did make one a couple of years ago, Brian. And then obviously I've had new things since then. Probably the best way to see my collection is in the videos I always do with my haunt. I always do like a haunt reveal video at the end of the season. And I put everything out. So yeah, that's probably the best way to see my collection of animatronics, which isn't the biggest, but for a UK haunter, it's okay. UK haunters, it's still a growing thing here in the UK. So I would say I have a pretty basic level collection. But as I've said in many of my videos, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a collector. I tend to just buy whatever I really like the look of for Halloween. Ghost movies, yes. The Others is great. I'm glad you agree, Michael. I love The Others. Again, it's that kind of creepy, spooky vibe where you don't really quite know what's going on. That whole thing. You know, like back in the day, what's the one with Bruce Willis? Not Signs. What's the one where he can see dead people? I can see dead people. You know what I mean. The kid can see dead people. Creepy. Loved that. I love a bit of that. Creature from the Black Lagoon is a universal monster. It is. From its Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy, and Wolfman are all symbolic of Halloween. Question is, how do you make Gilman affordable? Well, that's true. To make such a prop, it probably would cost quite a lot. I'm not going to lie. But I'd buy that. I love the Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's so cool. I'm the same. Love Halloween. Hate scary movies. Give me Hocus Pocus any day. Yeah, love Hocus Pocus. Absolutely love it. Yes, very scary. What did you think of the remake? What we talking about? Remake. What remake? Whose remake? Scare HQ, you're in the UK. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I'm telling you about a prop that's in the US. It might come to us, though. You might be able to buy it on eBay, which I know is annoying, but that's how it is. Trickster Trio. That's a good one. Yeah, very good. Home Depot. Scream is my favourite slasher. Yeah, I'd have to go with The Conjuring. Oh, I forgot about The Conjuring. Yes, I like The Conjuring too. Favourite non-slasher movie flick. I love your picks, though. Halloween 79, yeah. And The Exorcist are classics. Yeah, you can't go wrong with The Exorcist, right? Thank you. Okay. I'm just reading comments. I'm not ignoring anybody. Classic monster movies had characters. Modern horror movies just have flamboyant killers. Ooh, Gareth, you're really throwing it out there, aren't you, Gareth? I agree, though. I think I agree. The Sixth Sense, of course. The Sixth Sense. Love The Sixth Sense. Great movie. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away. Very cool ending. Got it, Michael. The Exorcist, yep. Are you going to Merry Hill Shopping Centre this year? I probably won't be, if I'm honest with you, Scare HQ. It's a little bit far from where I live and a little bit awkward to get to from where I live. And to be honest, though this is an unpopular opinion for the UK haunters, I do enjoy going there. I've been there a couple of times now. And it's very cool because, like I've said in videos, here in the UK, you don't necessarily have stores where you can walk into them and it's just wall-to-wall Halloween, which is what the Halloween store in Merry Hill Shopping Centre is. But it was a bit expensive. I found it expensive. I was looking at these very basic things and I was like, that's really expensive and I'm only going to buy this because I'm here. So probably won't make a big journey there, to be honest with you. Your forehead scares me. It is big. I'm sorry. I have got a big forehead. I'm sorry. The light went out, so at least it's not reflecting off it anymore. And yeah, that is a scary thing. It scares me having to look at it every day. I meant the remake of The Exorcist. Oh, Brian, no. I'm sorry. Didn't like it. Not a fan of it. I like the originals. I'm like that with a lot of things. I'm kind of that person who never liked prequels of anything, to be honest with you. I never, well, within reason. I never really like anything that is sort of just like a less good version of the original. Do you know what I mean? Like no, I'm like that with everything. Give me the original every single time, whether it's got bad special effects or not. I like the original. If that scares you, you want to see mine. Have you got a big forehead too, newbie? That's okay. We're in a club. It's called the Going Bald Club. I'm still in denial about it, which is why I still keep hold of this little bit of hair on my head. But no, I definitely am going bald, and this is one hell of a forehead, I am aware. A good sport, well played. Thanks. I tried, you got to make fun of yourself. You've got to do it. Have you seen Smile? No, I haven't seen Smile. And everyone says it's very, very cool. I don't know, though. I don't know. Again, I am a bit of a pussy. I am. I'm a bit of a pussy when it comes to scary movies. And I do sort of avoid the ones that look like they're going to be really violent. I'm not going to lie. I just do. Like as an instance, I really, really want to see Terrifier. And I've seen lots and lots of clips. And I pretty much, of the clips I've seen, I could probably piece together the whole movie. But I still haven't sat down and watched it because for me, it's just a little too gory and I'm just too much of a wimp. I just am. I'm bald. Also, I shaved my head bald. It might happen. One day I'll come on the camera and I'll have this shaved bald head and people are like, Jesus, put out the light. Yes, the second one is pretty good. It's creepy and gory. Okay. Terrifier 3 is really brutal. That's what I've heard. It's what I've heard. What was your favorite Halloween, the holiday, when you were a kid? For instance, there was a year when my friend and I had a goal to trick or treat at 500 houses in a single Halloween. Good times. Well, again, as I have said in my past videos, here in the UK, Halloween is still very much a growing holiday. And when I was a kid, trick-or-treating and stuff just really wasn't a big thing. You just didn't really do it. It just wasn't the done thing. So my love of Halloween kind of came out of, I don't know, I liked the time of year. I liked all the stories and ghost related stuff. I've always liked the paranormal and things like that. So it kind of grew as I grew up, as I got older. There were certain little moments throughout my childhood. There was my cousin's birthday happens to be on Halloween, so we always celebrated her birthday in the form of a Halloween party. And there was an awful lot of that sort of stuff that made me love Halloween. But it was kind of a growing thing. And I've kind of gone backwards. I think whereas a lot of people have Halloween in their childhood and then it slowly tapers out of them as they get older and they become less into it. For me, it kind of went the other way, and I started off not really knowing much about it or really being that into it, and then really loving it and being all over it, and now I'm practically obsessed. So, it comes in waves, I suppose. Classics are classics for a reason. They should never be remade or given sequels, but the call of Studio Greed never ends. I agree with you, Gareth. I think classics are classics for a reason, and I think they should remain that way. I think once you've got what I think is a perfect adaptation of a character or a book or whatever it happens to be, and you've got that classic movie, there isn't really any need to remake it. There are obviously some, like there are newer adaptations of old stories, which I like, but I don't think you necessarily need to remake the movie, if you know what I mean. But that could be controversial. What made you start your YouTube channel? Because I love Halloween. I love Halloween. And at the time, it was COVID when I started my channel. And I guess I just wanted someone to talk about Halloween stuff too. And that's where this came from. I just wanted to talk about Halloween, all year round. It didn't matter who wanted to listen or not listen. If you want to listen, yay. If you don't, oh well. I'm just going to sit here in my little corner of the internet and talk about Halloween. And that's what made me do my channel. I just one day woke up and was like, yeah, I'm going to film myself and be really awkward on camera. And the rest is history. For the record, I have no idea if we hit all 500, but we had so much candy. That's pretty cool, though, I have to say. I wish I had grown up with that kind of stuff. I wish that Halloween had been that big when I was a kid and there were loads of houses to visit. Thankfully, here in the UK, it is a little bit more like that now, and my kids definitely do have competitions to see how many houses they can hit. 500 probably would be a hefty target for where we live, but still, it's achievable now. It could actually be done. If you shaved your head, you would look like Winston Churchill with a beard. Leave your hair the way it is. Hey, what are you trying to say about Winston Churchill? Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to hang on to this bit of fluff for as long as I can. TJ, hey TJ. I've always enjoyed your videos where you talk about why you like Halloween, and you're great at capturing the almost intangible magic about it. Thank you for sharing your passion with all of us. I'm glad you get it. I'm glad you enjoy it, TJ. I do enjoy talking about my love of Halloween and what drew me to it. And it is, for me, again, it's always been a more sort of, I don't want to sound a bit hippie-like, but it's always been a slightly more spiritual kind of thing for me, like a connection to something deeper and older and stuff. It's not just about the props and the animatronics for me. It's about, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's about the atmosphere at that time of year and me just feeling like I need to celebrate at that time of year. I do enjoy that. Jay and Balling, hello, how are you? And I know I thanked you the other day, but thank you so much for getting Ed from Distortions to give me the shout out. It was so cool. I love seeing that. Newbie put, I was always jealous of the US with films like Hocus Pocus. I always wondered why we didn't do that here in the UK. I do a small display every year, but it makes everyone smile so much. Why aren't we? Yeah, I know. I get it. I've been there. I have wished it myself, and hopefully we are getting more that way. Hopefully it is going in the right direction and it is growing here. So I'm very, very happy about that. All doing it. Brian Port, there you go. Hey Dan, Hadham's Haunts. I always say that. I always say like Hadham's Haunts. I remember trick-or-treating for like hours. Yeah, I wish I had that. But my kids get that now, so that's always good. Yes, trick-or-treating used to go on forever in the 90s. Cool. I was the 70s. Okay. God, I'm old. No, you're not, Brian. Don't be mean to yourself, Brian. We would be out for hours and walk miles in directions we never went before. Have you got smoke machines? I've got one. I used to have about 4. But they don't, I'm not very good at keeping them clean. You're supposed to clean them out and empty them out and all that kind of stuff, and I don't. So I'm down to one that I've set up in such a way that the smoke feeds along a tube and it actually disperses evenly throughout the whole display now. But I think I am going to invest in a new one just for some extra smokiness. Spirit 2025 predictions. Oh, God. Well, last year was all clowns, wasn't it? We saw a lot of clowns last year. I'm guessing we'll still see a lot of clowns this year. What could a prediction be? Let me think. I'm going to say, I don't know. It's so difficult with them because, again, they can be a bit random. They can be a bit random with their choices. I'm going to say, I think their theme this year could be aliens. Could be. They did that big alien... Oh, I burped, sorry. Beg my pardon. Ooh. They did that big alien last year, and I think it was quite popular. So I think we could possibly see some sort of alien theming this year, something that they've not done for a while. There's a lot of different options when you think about alien props. Yeah, I think we could see that. Also, of course, they've done for a few years now different, the killer clowns from space, which I suppose you can kind of say they're aliens. So yeah, that could be the vibe they're going with this year. We could see some sort of alien sort of thing. I just hope they do a lot better in the sort of scare prop area. I think that's the area they should stick to. They do good scare props. And I hope they bring out some better scare props than we saw last year. I'm over the clowns. I was never into them. Never. My neighbor bought the entire circus setup from Spirit last year and I had to listen to it for a month. Yeah, that would have annoyed me too. Definitely. Good shout. Yeah, it's a possibility. Aliens would really fit into my theme this year. Fingers crossed. Well, Cindy, that's my prediction. It could be completely wrong. It's just a guess, but that I could definitely see that. That, or I think they might go down the serial killer thing. I think they might really hit the whole serial killer thing. They've got a lot of serial killers in their lineup already, and they'd only had to add a few more for it to be this really kind of slasher serial killer vibe. The late Andrew Jones made 2 Halloween Jack movies in Swansea. Weirdly, they were set in South Carolina. And more Halloween movies are being made in Britain. It's true. And they are getting made here because, guess what? Britain's very creepy. Unfortunately, clowns don't really fit my haunted house theme, but yeah. Yeah, I know. This is the problem. You either have a clown theme or you don't. And I don't. I don't like clowns, so yeah. I put a tube out last year with holes in it for a smoke machine. I heard to put frozen water bottles in the tube to help keeps the smoke low. Yes, it does. And I have done it and it does work. The only problem is here in the UK, it's often quite windy. So even when you do that, it still kind of wants to blow the smoke all over the place. But yes, if you put frozen bottles, or if you can get a cooler and put ice inside of a cooler and the smoke pour through that first before it goes down the main tube, it definitely does work. It does sit nice and low to the ground if that's the effect you're trying to go for. So it's actually really easy to do. You just have to make sure you've got plenty of ice. So yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been really cool talking to you all tonight. I'm glad that many of you interacted. I'm glad you've been here for it. I have got to go. I've got to get my kids to bed. But I'm glad you were here. I know this was a random one, but I just fancied doing a little live, gauging what you were all thinking about the Halloween stuff that we've seen so far this year. I think there's some really good stuff. I think we've got some really good potential for this year. I think the rest of this year could be really quite impressive. Fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, there's time yet. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. I've just got this feeling. 2024, I had a bit of a bad feeling about. It actually wasn't too bad. But I've got a really good feeling about 2025. I do think it's going to be really good. So we'll just have to see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Everyone's saying thank you, bye. Thank you. I love this live. Thank you. You're welcome, Gareth. I wouldn't go so far as saying Britain is creepy as much as we learn from each other. No, it's definitely creepy, Gareth. Thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you again. Keep it spooky. Bye.